Hello, hello. So it is Sunday. It is May 11th, and I do have for you a weekly wrap up here, my weekend review. It felt like a pretty slow week, honestly. I received two books, well, one book and a New Yorker. It was a pre-order. I read, how many books did I read? I read 5, and then I also watched a movie. So I guess technically it wasn't like a super slow week, but like it just feels like that to me. I don't know. Currently, I do want to mention what I'm currently reading. I'm currently reading These Violent Lights by Micah Nemerover. I am just over halfway through, and this is one of those books where I'm like, I started it, I'm like, yeah, this is a book I'm gonna like. Like, it just has everything that I'm like, oh yeah, okay. Dark academia, it's tragic, intimacy. No, of course, I'm gonna like this one. But I do intend on finishing this very soon, hopefully today. That's my goal. My goal is today. We'll see. Now, what I read. I did read 5 books. I watched a movie also. The first book I finished up The Grown Up by Gillian Flynn. The only book I've read by Gillian Flynn was Gone Girl. I really enjoyed Gone Girl. I thought it was a good book. But The Grown Up is this little novella. I think I picked it up, I think at like a used bookstore or something. Is this an Eagle's Nest book? Yes. I picked it up at the Eagle's Nest in Valley City. It's just a used bookstore, which is good because it's super small and I was not going to pay $10 for this. But The Grown Up is a novella about this woman who she spends her time like scamming people because she works as like, she works in this place where if a man comes in, she gives him a hand job, and if a woman comes in, she like reads their aura. And this woman comes in and she's like, there's something wrong with my house. Like my kid is, like my stepkid, once we moved, he just got really, really bad. It was terrible. And there were fun twists. There were more twists than one might expect, given the fact that it's 60 pages long. But I enjoyed it. I really did. I thought it was a fun time. And the final twist, like there was a twist, and then there was a twist on the twist, and then there was a twist on that. And then kind of went back on that twist, and there was a lot going on. I think I wouldn't have liked the final twist near as much if I hadn't liked how the main character reacted to it. You know, like the main character reacted to it in such an interesting way that I'm like, all right, I'll buy it, that's fine. I give it 4.75 out of 5 stars. I would at some point like to read her other like full-length novels. I do find it kind of interesting that she kind of dropped off the face of the earth. Like I haven't heard of a new Gillian Flynn book in forever. But again, I've only read this one and Gone Girl, and I would like to read like Sharp Objects and the other stuff that she's written. But yeah, I give this 4.75 out of 5 stars. All right, so after that one, I read a bad one, and this is the conclusion to a trilogy where I read the first book when I was in high school, and I read the second book maybe a couple years later, and I didn't even remember who these people were. Like, if I DNF'd books, I would have DNF'd this one, but there's no way I was reading the first 2 books again, because, like, they were all so bad. I remember that much. And I finished the Mash trilogy. I read Reached by Ali Condi. What I remember of the first book, the vague, this is one of those Hunger Games knockoffs, and the vague plot of the first book is that our main girl, Kazia, she's getting ready for her to be matched, so she's getting ready to get paired with somebody who she is going to like marry and stuff like that, and she is really expecting and wanting it to be like, I think her next door neighbor, if I'm remembering right, I think that's Xander, I'm not sure. And when she goes to get matched, first this other guy's face gets flashed on screen, I'm pretty sure Kai, but then he disappears and is replaced by Xander, and then she can't stop thinking about the fact that she had 2 people she was matched with. And we are so far away from that here in Reached. Like, I could not tell you anything about this fucking book. Like, I guess there's like a plague and they're trying to fix it, but I feel like this world was so much bigger than it should have been. Condi really tried to do a little bit too much here. It also, again, it doesn't help that I do not remember anything about the second book. Like, the first book, I remember the vague, you know, idea about what happened, like what the vague plot was, the vague concept. It's the point where I'm like, did I even actually read the second book? Because I don't remember anything about it. I don't remember how we got from that first book to here. I gave it 1 out of 5 stars. Oh my god, like I said, if I DNF'd books, I would have DNF'd this one. It was probably the worst book I've read all year. All right, then I read a couple of kind of average books. The first one I read was No Right Turn by Terry Truman, which is a book about this guy, and he's in high school. He's like about 16, and when he was in middle school, his dad killed himself, like in front of him. And so he's been very empty since. And his mom starts dating this new guy, and this new guy has this real cool Corvette. And so our main character goes out and steals the Corvette a bunch of times. It was fine. Like I said, it was very middle of the road. It felt very mid-2000s YA boys book is what it was. Because it's about this guy just stealing this car over and over again to impress a girl. It was fine. Like I said, like I don't have anything bad to say about it. This is one of those books, and I tend to read a lot of them, where I'm like, it's fine. It's not a bad book. I didn't hate it. I didn't have any grand positive or negative emotions toward it. I give it 3 out of 5 stars. It's fine. If you're trying to get your 14-year-old boy into reading and he likes cars, give him no right turn. All right. Then another one. This one had some aspects that I could appreciate, just kind of on an objective level. I did read Donovan's Brain by Kurt Siodmak, and this is like a classic science fiction novel about this absolutely insane doctor who is trying to like do experiments on brains. And genuinely, this book has one of the strongest openings ever, where this guy buys this sickly monkey and causes it to trust him and then immediately kills it, like as soon as it trusts him. And I was like, hello? Patrick, are we okay? But then he ends up getting like a human brain that he can use, and it starts slowly taking over his body and everything, which is cool. It's kind of cool. It was fine. Like I really liked the concept, and I really understand what it's done for a lot of horror and science fiction novels. This was written in the 40s. Personally, on a personal level, it just didn't connect, you know, and I've started, did I not write in the front here? God damn. Do I have any pens in this? Or is all I have? Pens aren't cool. Normally, I write in the front, even if it's a book I've had for a while, like this one, so it doesn't have the date I got it in there. I write in the front, and I did not for Donovan's Brain. So let's fix that real quick. And this is where all my nice pens are going. What the hell? Okay. Aurora Dimitri. I think I finished this on the 8th. Yes, it must have been, because that's when I started reading These Violent Delights. Okay. So 5, 8, 25, 3 out of 5. So I give it 3 out of 5 stars. Like I said, I can appreciate what it's done for science fiction and horror. And I really, again, that opening was beautiful. And again, I really liked the main character. Like, not in like a I like him way, but in like a he's just so crazy, it's fun to see what he does way. 3 out of 5 stars. Okay, then the last book I finished last week was a manga, and that is the 2nd volume of Edo by Amano Jaku. And Edo follows this world where Japan is really just like kind of full to bursting with people, with immigrants, with everything, and it's really putting stress on a lot of local economies. The first volume follows this woman who keeps getting fired from her jobs because she's really kind of a bad worker. And she finds this little boy who she ends up saving because it seems like people are just trying to kill him, and it's so weird. And there's also like these plant-human hybrids. This guy is my favorite. I love how he has turned kind of from like a vague villain to kind of a useless friend, sort of. No, it's very fun. This is the art style. It's more actiony that I've been really into when it comes to manga for a while. This is something that I know I would have loved in high school if it was not out at that time, but if it had been, I would have loved it in high school. And I really haven't been into that kind of manga recently. Like I haven't been into manga where there's been lots of action recently. I'm more into like, you know, like your Gekkan Shoujo Nozaki-kuns and your My Love Mix-Ups and stuff like that, you know? But no, this has been really fun. I give it 5 out of 5 stars. I'm excited to continue. All right, and then I watched VHS 94, which came out in 2021. The only other VHS I've seen is the original one. I do intend on watching all of them, but this is not really a series you need to watch in order. Not that that stops me, even if it is. Like, I watched Saw completely out of order, and I didn't really give a shit. But VHS 94, I really liked it. Honestly, I thought that it was fun. I thought that, honestly, unpopular opinion, the Wake one I thought was a little bit too long. I know they were building tension, but, like, there was an awful lot of nothing happening in that one. But the Ratma one was good. The wraparound was good. The Indonesian one was good. Okay, the white supremacy one at the end ran a little bit too long. So I think other than those two, I really, really liked everything. And even then, like, when those two got to their final points. Like once that coffin opened in the wake one, and once those guys started getting drunk and fucking it up in the white supremacy one, they also got really, really good. So no, I really enjoyed it. Yeah, the VHS movies are fantastic. They're super fun. I had a good time. So that is what I have read and watched. In terms of keeping / getting rid of, obviously I'm keeping my movie, and I'm also going to keep this, but I am going to get rid of The Grown Up. I'm getting rid of Reached. I'm getting rid of No Right Turn, and I'm getting rid of Donovan's Brain. And what I received, first up, my pre-order that came in was the new Frederick Backman book. I did pre-order My Friends. Hopefully, I mean, like, not like I've only read from Frederick Backman. I've read obviously the Berrytown trilogy, and I've read Anxious People, and I really enjoyed Anxious People, but it didn't hit me as hard as the Berrytown trilogy did. I'm hoping that this one, I don't know if anything can ever quite match Berrytown. I don't know what it is, but I did pre-order this because it's a new Frederick Backman book. Like, I had to. Then my New Yorker, this is the May 5th New Yorker. So that is that. Like I said, it felt like a very small week. I don't know, even though, like, technically, yeah, I read 5 books, which is not, you know, completely non-existent. But yeah, that is everything. I will talk to you later, and goodbye.